how leaders are able to inspire people around them and create movements out of it. Take Mahatma Gandhi, take Martin Luther King, take Narendra Modi. How these leaders are able to inspire people and create movements, create a difference in society. How? There is a language of leadership which all these leaders know, which they use to make these movements happen. Now in this video, we're going to learn that secret of leadership which all these leaders know, which they use to create mass movements. Ready for that? So let's get started. That secret of leadership is empathy. You might have heard this word empathy, but let's understand what it really means and how leaders use it to create mass movements. Now, what is empathy? Let's understand that first. Empathy in simple term means feeling what it feels to be on the other side. Assuming I am talking to you, and if I can feel how you feel, which means I can be in your shoes and understand how it feels being you. That is empathy. Giving an understanding to your audience that I can feel your pain is empathy. Okay, in simple terms. We'll cover a lot of depth of empathy later on, but understand this. Empathy means giving the other person a signal that I understand how it feels being you. That's empathy. And leaders know this. They use it in a very positive way to move people. Okay. Now, this empathy is very important for a reason. Okay. The reason is this. We have a part of the brain which is called as instinctive brain. Instinctive brain is nothing but a primitive brain. It's a brain which works on the survival mechanism, which means when we were cavemen, when we were living in caves, our major requirement of life was to be alive. Okay, a lot of challenges were there all around us. We were not secured and safe. Attack can happen from any angle, any side. So the main part of the brain was, or our body was, to be safe, to be alive. And that part of brain, we still have it. And that is called as the instinctive brain or survival brain. And the job of instinctive and survival brain is to just ask one question. The person to whom I'm speaking, is he my enemy or is he my friend? We want to feel safe. That's the first requirement. That's the reason when you go to a new place, a new country, a new language, new food habits, you don't feel comfortable. Because that's the part of the brain you're accessing, which is the instinctive brain, which is survival. It cares about survival. Now, why empathy works is when you make other person feel that I care about you, I understand your pain, I understand your problem, I understand your happiness, you automatically become a friend of that person, isn't it? Yes. And when that person treats you like a friend, okay, that connection establishes, and that connection is what we are looking for. And when you empathize with anyone you speak to, you release a chemical called as oxytocin. Okay, it's a chemical which is released in the body of the person whom you're talking to. In fact, in your body as well, in the body of the speaker as well as the listener. When you empathize with someone, a chemical called as oxytocin is released. And this oxytocin creates deep connection, love. Okay, you have a bonding which establishes by using empathy, because it creates a chemical oxytocin which creates connection. And the benefit of empathy is when someone empathizes with you, when you feel connected with someone, you will work 60% faster, which means your efficiency will be 65% faster or better. Which means when you love someone, when you connect with someone, you will give more for that person. It happens for sure. Yes, you can do whatever is required for your parents. In fact, you will go extra mile for your parents, for your loved ones. You will see boyfriend, girlfriend, they'll go extra mile to help each other. The reason is oxytocin, that connection, the deep connection, that empathy. Okay, that's because of the chemical called as oxytocin. Now, this is the science behind why empathy works. The formula which we are going to use to empathize with people is called as CARE formula. CARE, C-A-R-E. And when you use this formula CARE, you will be able to empathize and make deep connection with your audience with your people around you, and they will work 65% efficiently for you. Now let's understand what is care. Now C stands for concentrate. As the word says concentrate, which means when you're talking to someone, just concentrate 100%. Shut the background noise, just be present. It's not enough to be just silent. It's about being 100% present. Okay, that's about concentrate, which means be there, 100% there. Okay, now once you understand C, that's the first principle. Okay, now second principle is acknowledge. What is it? Acknowledge. Acknowledge means you give some indication to the person you're talking that I care about you, I understand your pain, I can feel your pain. Now how can you do it? You can do it by giving proper eye connection. When you're talking to the person, give 100% eye connection, have some nodding, and repeat last few words of the person what he's talking. Now repeating last few words gives an understanding or an indication to him or her that this guy is able to understand my pain, he's able to understand what I'm talking. So that's about acknowledge. With eye connection, with nod, with repeating few words, acknowledge that I care about you. Once you concentrate and acknowledge, and the third thing is research. Now what does research mean? Research means going deep in the person's concern or problem. How can you do it? By asking questions. Okay, you can ask questions about what he's talking. That gives him an indication that you want to know more, which means you are interested to know more. You care about that person. So ask questions. Questions like, how did it happen? Who were there? How could you cope up with this? Just ask some questions to give him or her indication that you actually care and you want to know more. Okay, now that's research. And the last thing which you can do is show your emotions. When that person is talking, if it's talking something which is painful, okay, you should have feeling of that emotion of that person who is talking with you. Just feel that emotion of the person, and that is emotion, which means you empathize, you show that person that I am feeling your pain. Making sense? Now when you use this formula called as care, by default the person whom you're speaking to will empathize with you. Okay, he will feel deep connection with you, and he will become 65% loyal, he will become 65% connected with you, and he will do extra mile job for you because he cares for you and you care for him is what he knows. Making sense? Now if you feel it's so complex, Saurabh, I don't want to do all this, there is one simple method you can do, which is a part of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which I learned recently. I'm a certified NLP practitioner. There is a technique called as association dissociation. Now this association dissociation makes it automatic. All this care will happen by default. Okay, now what does it mean? It simply means when you're talking to someone, assuming I'm talking to Mr. X, now I will dissociate myself, I will dissociate me from me, which means I will forget I'm Saurabh, and I will associate me with Mr. X, which means when I'm talking to Mr. X, I will be in the shoes of Mr. X, I forget Saurabh, I become Mr. X, and I see from his perspective. I feel his pain, I feel his problem. And when I am in his shoes, when I am associated with Mr. X and dissociated from me, I can actually feel his pain, and he can acknowledge it, and he can actually realize it that this person understands me. Making sense? Now this association dissociation is very important principle to empathize and to show that you actually care. Now I want you guys to start using this empathy. If you're logical, it's not easy. Okay, if you're emotional, this happens naturally to you. But I want you to use this empathy, if possible, using this care formula. In fact, there is a quiz which you can take. Okay, there is a research done on empathy, and there is a quiz which has 60 questions in it. And once you answer these questions, it will show you what's your empathy number. So take that quiz. I'm going to give you the link of that particular quiz in the comment section or in the description section. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please use this technique of empathy, and you will then be able to move thousands of people just like all these leaders are able to move by using the principle of empathy. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Any questions, mention in the comment section below. Saurabh Chharia here. See you tomorrow with a new video. Thank you.